Hello, my name is Jason Hickey, and I am applying for the position of principal at your middle school. I understand that this school is currently struggling with performance and behavior issues, and I would like to present my approach to rectifying this situation. Given that this school sees many fights between students and poor interaction between instructors and students, I propose that the core of the issue is a lack of communication and respect within the school. My plan will therefore focus on making sure that any basic needs of our students that we are able to fulfill are met, before then turning to a reconstruction of our lesson plans and our general pedagogy to foster a feeling of community within the school. Especially in the morning, I will have the teachers looking for students who may be hungry, tired, or experiencing other types of distress and send their findings to the administration. Attempting to see and address the basic needs of our students will help us create a strong base from which to launch our changes. This is demonstrated clearly in Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. A student who is not having their basic needs met is not going to be able to focus in class. Whereas we may not actually be able to address the needs of that student, it will help our counselors and social workers understand which students will need the most help. Next, I want to encourage teachers to incorporate their students' lives into their lessons and assignments. For example, a social studies class learning about Alexander the Great could be asked to write a short story where they meet up and talk with him. A science teacher can plan a lesson that explores how salt affects the melting point of water right after a snowstorm has come and the streets were salted. These types of lessons operate around the idea of the critical pedagogy and show the students that their voices and lives are a part of their education. Originally described by Paulo Freire before being developed by Henry Giraud, the critical pedagogy will help build respect in the school as students and teachers learn more about their classes and classmates' lives. Incorporating students' lives into the lessons will also tap into the hidden curriculum. Instead of having separate lessons for history and personal life, the two are tied together, and students will begin to see that their personal lives are inextricably tied to their own education. In addition, different lessons should be delivered through different means. The 5 learning styles theory, put forth by Rita and Kenneth Dunn, have proved useful for many schools and programs throughout our country. This school is home to a very large number of students who each need to feel that they are understood and taught as an individual. Teachers can accomplish this by mixing up their delivery of lessons so that each student gets time in a learning style that suits them best. A sense of community can be further developed in simple ways too. To the teachers, I encourage you to greet all the students you see warmly whenever you meet them, not just your students when they're inside your classroom. Show the students that you care about them, whether they're inside your classroom or out. As a sense of community is developed, we can expect to see fights among students decrease, but I am under no illusion that they will disappear altogether. As principal, I would advocate for a strong disciplinary administration, but not for a zero-tolerance policy. Something I feel that is often forgotten is that schools who choose policies other than zero tolerance are still capable of handing out harsh punishments when necessary. An effective punishment is rehabilitative in nature, and rehabilitation requires a personal touch. Zero-tolerance policies remove any semblance of a personal touch, and thus the punishment becomes ineffective. The student is treated as a number and simply learns to not get caught. When the time for punishment comes, I will be just as harsh or lenient with students as the situation demands, and I will have guidelines that are set up for these possible punishments, but they will be just that, guidelines. They will not be set in stone. Lastly, and perhaps most importantly, we need to talk about the teachers. Much of the work for turning a school around falls on the shoulders of teachers in the middle of their classroom. I want the teachers at this school to feel motivated themselves, not simply as conduits for motivation for the students. To address this, I will hold conferences during off periods or after school hours for teachers to voice their concerns and suggestions. In addition, I will make sure to leave time for individual meetings with teachers throughout the first couple of years. I cannot promise to agree with every statement or meet every request, but it is important for this school to function as a two-way street at all levels. Just like the students need to have their voices and lives matter as a part of the critical pedagogy, so too do the teachers who practice that pedagogy. Thank you very much for your time and consideration. I hope to hear from you in the future.